Next questions? A very active middle area.
Hi, I'm Pat Gaines. I'm with Boeing of Korea and also chairman of AmCham Korea. First of all, I'd like to say one thing about Ambassador Bleich comment about you have residents that are very good for having people over to. I will tell you all the U.S. business community has house envy of Ambassador Kim's residents. Quite a great area to have events. My question really is focused back on the community support. And I'd like to ask the panel if they have good examples of where the embassy has interacted with the American chambers in their area on GSR events and ways that we can connect up more. You know, the embassies have a very good pulse on those things that are helping the community and are sensitive issues with the government. So I'd like to hear if there are any good examples of how the embassy and the AmChams can interact on CSR activities.
Well, I can give one quick example. There's a enormous minerals and mining boom going on in Western Australia, and just to give you, some sense of the dimensions. The largest destination for Chevron's global investment in the world, 40% of it is Western Australia. The same is true for ExxonMobil, largest percentage. The same is true for ConocoPhillips, for Apache, for Hess. Bechtel, which does a lot of the construction for them, is also in 30% of its global investment is in Western Australia, about $186 billion. And the scale of these projects is, it's breathtaking. So the U.S. footprint is very large in Western Australia, and there are people who are concerned about the impact of this on the environment in terms of carbon. So we have been working with the companies both to put their, to make them sensitive to that issue, to work with the communities in the region, and to look for ways that they can include carbon sequestration, work with minority employment, particularly for Aboriginal communities, and other things which have really strengthened the bond between those companies and the local community and made it much easier for them to get these projects approved. But in every case, what we've needed to do is be sort of the ears on the ground saying these are the sensitivities, here are the particular legislators, here's their specialty issue that you need to be sensitive to, and try and arrange meetings that allow them to move the projects through.
Ambassadors? Director?
Sure. Yeah, thanks so much. I always try to tell the story of contributions in CSR in Malaysia, and American business does wonderful things. Sometimes it's hard to tell the story in a more comprehensive way because there's a lot of different activities taking place at a local level. A couple of bigger picture successes. The AmCham in Malaysia has a long-standing, I think 17 years now, has had a young entrepreneurship program, young enterprise program, where they mentor schools in creating entrepreneurship projects and have a competition. We're very much a part of that. I or my deputy goes and visits with and raises the sort of the media level profile and feels the energy of these students, and we partner with that in a very positive way. That's been going on some time, but more recently, as we have really upped our game on education, exchange, and entrepreneurship, we found wonderful partnerships in the business community. So we have an after-school English language program for underprivileged students in Malaysia that we've grown quite dramatically recently. So we've partnered with companies to offer some prizes, offer some incentives. We had an entrepreneurship summit where we got all these students to come together, and they came together into teams and had mentors and had an ongoing competition on coming up with a little entrepreneurship project over a period of months. American Business was the one that was there in roles of mentorship, in roles of giving out prizes, and the big prize was the place on the final selection to go for an exchange program in the United States. So what we're trying to do is to knit together this into a whole narrative that includes American business. And the final one that we've just started laying out there, Prime Minister Najib asked President Obama about 2 years ago now if he could sort of have a Peace Corps-like program for Malaysia, and the response has been that we just had received 50 American college graduates to help teach English in rural areas of Malaysia. What we're laying out and discussing right now with the business community is, are there areas in Malaysia, can we adjust this program sort of strategically in ways that would be beneficial to American business, and would American business like to sort of come in as strategic partners and say, for the next several years, we'll offer, internships to some of the best graduates. Maybe we'll contribute financially, because this is a joint process between the government of Malaysia and the government of the United States, to expand the program even bigger. So I think there's tremendous area, and going beyond sort of looking at community levels of CSR, but into a narrative that links us up together into a much higher profile. So, thank you.
This is the interactive part, so anybody else would like to answer the question, we would welcome.
I might just add a couple of points. One, first, I agree with my colleagues. Certainly in Indonesia, more public diplomacy, telling the people what American companies are doing in CSR is very important. Many Indonesians are ambivalent or even unenthusiastic about foreign investment, and often a common theme in Indonesian press is that foreign companies are just there to exploit the country. So it's really important to get out that good message. But rather than talk about specific success stories, I would say there's another piece of it. It doesn't have to be just CSR. I think, as Ambassador Jones was just saying, it's really important also to talk about how U.S. companies contribute to the community. Obviously, jobs, training, transfer of technology, as well as, of course, taxes. And what I often stress is, that there is a positive side to the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act, which is that Indonesians can count, when they're working with American companies, on those companies not trying to bribe their officials. Thank you.
Anyone else would like to try to answer that question on behalf of your country? Okay, we'll take some questions, and then I'll get to you.
Thank you. My name is Ganna, Career Design Academy, and my question is to U.S. Ambassador, Mr. Roos. What is America doing to encourage the foreign investments? Are there any new trade agreements now? Thank you.
Well, we have a huge agenda to encourage foreign investment, and TPP being part of that agenda. We are continually working to bring down the non-tariff barriers to investment here in Japan. And that is something we work very closely with ACCJ on, in all the ACCJ companies in the different industry sectors, that will help improve the climate for foreign direct investment. So that is a big part of our agenda here.